Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of Hobby Quick Hits. I am John Newman, and this will be another Q&A episode. We did one sometime back. It was went very well, so we're doing another one. 5-6 questions from you, the listeners, or from social media, and we're going to answer them on the show. And with that being said, too, for anyone in the future, if you have a question that you want to ask me, whether it pertain to my hobby, my collection, or just a hobby in general, or myself, they can be even off topic, right? We have a little fun. Doesn't have to be hobby 24/7. So if you like these episodes and you want to hear your question read, I'll say your first name, give you credit for the question, although some people do request to remain anonymous with their question. I can do that too. So a little lighthearted kind of episode to answer some stuff that's on people's minds. So we're gonna do these every so often, not all the time. Every 2-3 months maybe, and just fun. Let your hair down. Talk about the hobby sort of episode. So with that being said, let's hear from our great sponsors, Mojo Brakes, and we'll get this started.
MojoBrakeShop.com is the best place to get your sealed wax products and brakes. They not only have the best selection, but the best prices. Whether it's a box or a whole case, they are your guys. They ship worldwide to your doorstep. Their reputation as one of the most trusted in the hobby goes unmatched. They are the 2021 Topps Rip Party Champion Breakers. From sports card to Pokemon cards, their selection can't be beat. They offer daily deals and pre-orders.
Hey guys, John Newman here. Mojo's prices are already great, but to save an additional 10% off anything in their store, use the code QUICKHITS. That's QUICKHITS. Check out the full service store that's open 7 days a week in Santa Clara, California, or the website at mojobreak.com. All right, let's go around the Hobbyverse and see what's coming out product-wise in the next 2 weeks. On the 28th, 2022, Leaf in the Game, Game Used Sports. On the 1st of March, 2022-23, O-Pee-Chee Hockey. Also on the 1st, 2022, Panini Phoenix Football. Staying on March 1st, 2022-23, Panini Prism Collegiate Draft Picks Basketball Choice. Also on the 1st, 2022, Top Allen and Ginter Chrome Baseball. Also, March 1st, 2022, Topps Dynasty Formula One Racing. Moving to March 3rd, 2022, Bowman Inception Baseball. Also, March 3rd, Decision 22 Trading Card. March 3rd, 2022-23, Leaf Exotic Basketball. March 3rd, Pokemon Mimikyu EX Box. Also on the 3rd, 2022, Pokemon TCG World Championship Deck. Moving to March 8th, 2022, Bowman's Best Baseball. Also March 8th, 2022-23, Panini Donruss Basketball. March 8th, it's a big day here, 2021-22, Panini Flawless Basketball. March 8th, 2022, Panini Mac Football. Also March 8th, 2022-23, Panini Prism Collegiate Draft Picks Basketball Fast Break. March 8th, 2023, or I should say 2021-22, Upper Deck Clear Cut Hockey. Also 2021-22, Upper Deck Credentials Hockey. Hockey, 2022 Upper Deck Fleer Ultra Marvel Avengers. Now the 10th, 2022 Leaf Valiant Football. Also on the 10th, 22 Panini Phoenix Football H2. Also on the 10th, 2023 Wild Card Fly Card Draw Baseball. Also on the 10th to close it out, Yu-Gi-Oh! Maze of Memory. So almost 20 products there. I'm tired from saying them all. Again, you may expect delays or pushbacks date, but people are trying to roll out product here in 2023. So choose your weapon and happy rip.
Let's go round the hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
How did I make it big? I know how. To play the game, I buy real estate, hotels, fancy cars, even railroads, and I take chances. To make it big, you've got to play the game. I'm Monopoly Game.
Well, you heard the commercial from 1993, Monopoly. Well, Hasbro, the maker of Monopoly, and Panini are teaming up to make a Monopoly Prism Edition basketball, or I should say NBA Edition, 90-card set. Going to have booster packs, inserts, parallels. There's also going to be a standalone pack product, boxes, 6-pack per box, 4 cards per pack. And instead of properties, the properties are going to be the card. Going to hit the Target stores in mid-April and then other stores in May. So we'll see how this goes. Is this going to be a game people actually play, or is this going to be just a product disguised sort of as a game? I'm going to go with the latter. No price points as of yet, but I'm assuming there's going to be cards in the game itself. My question, will those be different than the cards in the pack? And if so, looks like there'll be a premium on the cards that get packaged in the game itself. Staying with Panini and products, the 2022-23 Panini's Contenders basketball product is getting slimmed down, at least their boxes are. About half the size of last year's edition. Only 4 packs per box, 8 cards per pack, so 32 card boxes, 2 autos per box still, and a 12-box case. The slimmed down Panini Contenders basketball will be released on March 22nd. Order in the court. A judge has ruled the case against the NFT Dapper Labs, owners of NBA Top Shot, can go forward. The plaintiffs in the case, Gary Lewis, G. Unfried, and John Austin, are suing Dapper Labs, accusing them of selling hundreds of millions of dollars of unregistered securities and unable to get their funds out of their account. Dapper Labs tried to say that it's just a fun game, not unregistered securities, and the judge ruled in favor of the plaintiffs. So that court case will go forward. That is a big lawsuit. We all know, what has happened to NFTs in the recent year, and this just continues sort of that downhill slide. Will be interesting to see how this case turns out. Unfortunately, store LCS break-ins continue, and in Panama Beach, Florida, 3 stores in that local area were all hit in the same night. I believe all total maybe close to $500,000 in losses there with the 3 stores combined. Authorities think it may be the same group that hit all 3 stores. If you do have any information on the Panama Beach burglaries of the LCSs, please contact the Panama Beach Police Department. The Collects app just received $5.5 million seed investment money from an Austin, Texas investment group that will go towards their new marketplace. So money still being invested in hobby companies. That seems to be continuing. All right, you heard the audio of Harrison Butker's 27-yard field goal to basically win the Super Bowl for the Kansas City Chiefs, 38-35 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, that ball sailed over that net that they put behind the goalpost that usually knocks the ball down. It doesn't happen often. And Mr. Eamon Dixon of California, originally from Melbourne, Australia, caught that game-winning field goal. He actually filmed it. He was filming as it was kicked and then caught the ball. So he filmed his own catch of the game-winning Super Bowl ball. That is his ball. Kind of a crazy story, too. He only found out he was going to the Super Bowl that morning when an acquaintance who had an extra ticket asked him if he wanted to go. He had to get a last-minute flight, arrived to the game as the national anthem was playing, took his seat. The other funny tie-in is he's in the advertising business, and he was one of the people who worked on the Doritos commercial that aired during the Super Bowl. So he catches the ball, He's now going to probably bring it to Golden's auction. I've heard it evaluated value-wise anywhere from $500,000 to $3 million. Stop me if you heard this before. Aaron Judge, 62 home run ball. But valuations fluctuate between, again, $500,000 and $3 million. So just think, you wake up, you're planning on watching the Super Bowl on your TV in your living room. You get to go to the game all of a sudden, catch this ball, and you may be a millionaire from it, possibly. So we'll see how this auction turns out. If that's the route he goes. CSG and PWCC have a partnership. If you have your cards graded at CSG, it will be no charge if you so choose to have them secured in the PWCC vault. So CSG and PWCC are joining forces there. Beckett Authentication has now thrown its hat into grading event and sports tickets. Used to be PSA was the only game in town, when Beckett is going to open up shop there. They've hired Steve Lee, who has over 30 years in ticket experience. So if you need to get your tickets or sporting events or music or whatever tickets graded, Beckett is now available to do it. Closing out our news portion of this episode, REA, Robert Edward Auctions, just closed out their February 2023 Encore auction on Sunday. The top seller was a 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth 181, sold for $15,600, and Wilt Chamberlain 61 Fleer basketball rookie PSA 7 sold for $12K. A Lou Gehrig 1934 R320 Gaudi number 37, and an SGC 4 brought $11,700, and a Patrick Mahomes 2017 Panini Origins football jumbo patch autograph rookie card, and 53 Topps Mickey Mantle, both sold for $10,800 each. REA is a great sponsor of the show, so congratulations to them on a great February auction. Their March Encore auction starts March 9th and runs to March 19th. So get over to REA, sign up, and get ready for the March Encore auction.
Feature presentation.
All right, another Q&A episode. We did this some months back and got more questions. And so here's another rendition. We'd like to do these probably every couple months, not overdo them. So let's get to the questions. First one from a Sam K. He asked, could the hobby ever return to the junk wax era of the 90s? Well, you never say never. I sure as heck hope not, as someone who was in the hobby and lived through that. It wasn't as terrible as people made it out to be, but it wasn't good either. It wasn't good for the hobby and led to a mass exodus of people. And there are different variations of that. Could we return to the 90s? Well, we could see a mass exodus of people from the hobby. We could see overproduction on especially Fanatics' part of cards, and that could be, what would trigger that. But I'm going to say no because I believe and I hope people learn from the mistakes of their past. So I think the powers that be will learn or hopefully know what not to do to repeat that. But, never say never. I just hope it's never. Next question comes by way of Ian, or Ian, I-A-N. He asks, you have to give up either content creation or the hobby itself. Which one are you picking, John? This is a layup question, at least for me. I've been in the hobby 40 years. I've done content creation for 5. The content creation I do wouldn't exist without the hobby that was in my life first. So, and I love content creation. I'm glad I don't really have to do this question, but hypothetically, if I had to not do one over the other, sorry, content creation, you won't hear me on the podcast waves anymore. But thankfully, I don't have to make that choice. This next question, I get asked from multiple people, so I can't give credit to one person here. And it says, who do you grade with? Who do I grade with personally is SGC and PSA. But we all know there's, over 100 grading companies out there. Many are good. The general consensus of the big 4 is PSA, SGC, BGS, Beckett Grading, and CSG. But there are others coming with new innovations. You got TAG now with AI grading, and who knows what's next, right? But for me, it's PSA and SGC. Next question here from Tyler. John, I hear you ask guests on your show if they had a hobby magic wand, what wish or what would they do with it? One wish, hobby wish. I'm asking you, what would you do if you had one wish and the hobby magic wand? Well, I'd wish for 5 or 6 more wishes. No, I'm just kidding. Although I do wish rather than one, I could, do 5 or 6 different things. I guess if I had to pick one, it's tough. I mean, even the 5 or 6 I would pick if I was going that far, they're all on par with each other. But I guess more transparency from everybody in the hobby, not just the card companies, but all entities, right? I think there's a lot of stuff we don't always know about. And I think it can be potentially harmful not knowing. So I'd like to see a little more upfrontness, a little more, hey, we made a mistake, here's how we're fixing it, a little more accountability. Maybe that's a better word than transparency, more of an accountability and insurance that, we're going to try to not have that happen again. So accountability / transparency. All right, last question for this episode comes from Steve, and he asks, what is your biggest hobby pet peeve? I guess this is sort of like the magic wand question, but a pet peeve is I guess a little different than, what would I change? So I'll give a different answer than the hobby magic wand. Negativity / jealousy of the hobby. And here's what I mean by that, right? Just, and again, 90% of people in the hobby are great people, happy people enjoying the hobby, right? And then you have that other segment, right? And they're just nasty, negative. They look for threads and posts to, I don't want to say sabotage, but put their disdain, or unhappiness and kind of be Debbie Downer, right? And then jealousy, right? There's a lot of people, like, I root for other people unless someone is really not a good person. But I also won't root against them. I just won't root for them, right? But there's a faction out there that just root against people. and it's weird. That don't wish other people success. That like to see people struggle or fail. I don't understand it, and that really does bother me because I don't know where that comes from. And we're seeing that not just in the hobby. I even think of my own, coaching career and watching my son play sports, right? And I remember when I played sports as a young kid, and you'd have a bad game, right? Every parent be like, "It's okay, Johnny, you get him next time. No big deal, You'll be good. You'll be all right, right?" And today you hear parents yelling onto the field at the kids that, or yelling at each other that their son's better and should be starting. And so I think it starts at home, and the negativity starts at home, and then it spills into all walks of life. But this is a hobby show. So I think there's just a lot of jealous, nasty folks. And when I say a lot, not percentage-wise, but too many where I see them with the comments and rooting against people. So I'd like to see less of that. All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Want to give out our social media, starting with our website, which is www.sportscardnationpodcast.com. Facebook, you can follow us at www.facebook.com/SportsCardNationPodcast/. Twitter, we are at SportsCardNati1, so it's SportsCard NATI1. Instagram, at SportsCardNationPodcast, or you can email the show, hobbyquickhits@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.